Hey, how are you doing? This is Tantris Humble. If you like trash content and video games and funny jokes, you should check out Player 2, where I make commentary with my best friend as we play Nintendo games. You like Nintendo games? Well, there's a link in the description, so you can go click on that and you have a grand old time. Get away!
Dude, you're so far away from your microphone right now.
Go away! Get out of here!
I think you might be too retarded to record right now.
I can't get out!
Get closer
Oh
to
my
your...
god, I can't get out!
Can you please bring your mic closer to your mouth? You don't have to move closer to the mic. Move the mic closer to you.
Lana,
Tristan. Tristan. Bring the mic up to your face. You can pick that guy up. You can literally pick him up.
I can't pick him, look! I'm trying to pick him up, I can't!
Use the song of command. Did you move the microphone closer to your mouth? No, I know. I've noticed that you haven't done that yet.
Shut up.
Please do that now. Please take Tristan. It's not going to be usable.
What do you mean?
We're not going to be able to use this if you don't move the mic close to your mouth.
I'm close to the mouth!
But next time I Player 2, dude.
Next time I play! Shut the fuck up! Hello, YouTube. I'm thinking of going to Paris again. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's probably gonna be soon. I know we have the end of the world still happening, and the news just doesn't shut up about it because it loves to make everybody feel great. You ever feel great watching the news? Oh yeah, Fox News, my favorite. Oh, this feels so good. Oh. Yeah. So the reason I want to go to Paris again is because, as it turns out, I lived there for 5 months 2 years ago. Yeah, so it was the second semester of the 2018-2019 school year, you know, before all of this happened. And I was basically forced into it because I didn't want to leave Rhode Island at the time because I was dating somebody who was my sweetheart. Thank God I didn't stay. That would have been really dumb. My parents forced me. They were like, gotta go to Paris. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go, even though my heart's gonna hurt for a few months as I'm far away. But it ended up being really good for me. The French love living. Americans love working. But yeah, so when I lived in France, I was in the middle of the 12e arrondissement, the 2nd district. So it's like the rich people area, and I was just smack dab in the center of a bunch of cafes and little like restaurants that were just, you know, all coupled together in a very small area. It was really surreal walking around on a rainy day and seeing those pretty women smoking their cigarettes. Even the way they held them was a little strange. Like, I don't know, I don't smoke personally, but like, if you're sitting down smoking a cigarette, maybe you're like... But the French woman in that cafe had like this way about her, this air, where she rested her right arm on her left forearm, and she was just kind of like... You could buy a nice bottle of wine for like €5 and then get yourself some cheese. I don't know, and go back to your house and just chill and watch the sunset. I don't know. It seems like the French have this way of appreciating things that we clearly don't. Still got a little bit of wine left. I'm not sure if I should drink a little bit for the purpose of this video. This video officially not sponsored by Miller Lite. But I studied at Les Beaux-Arts de Paris, which is basically the fine arts school in Paris, and like a few famous figures studied there, like Claude Monet, which I'm not even comparing myself to, just we went to the same school, me on a foreign exchange, but I just spent so much time alone when I was in France. Like, I spent a long time by myself in a foreign country. I didn't have any friends. The only people I knew were the other people on the foreign exchange, and maybe a couple of people that I'd befriended along the way, but like I was just in the center of Paris, constantly walking by myself and writing music, of all things. Because as it turns out, you know, I'm a musician and I like playing guitar and composing songs for all of you to listen to. And if you want to hear more about that, stick to the end of the video. I think one of the things about France that just they get right is art is a part of life. Art is everything, right? I mean, what isn't art? I mean, there's always the person who's like, hey, Picasso was once asked the question, what is art? To which he responded, what isn't? We don't want you. Get out. But when everything is beautiful to you, like everything is about pleasure in France. That's it. That's what I would say the thesis is. Everything is pleasure. The wine is good, the food is very delicious, the architecture looks good, the art is good, the language sounds good, everything just feels good about France. And yeah, I mean, like, for someone who's just going there on vacation, that is a very romanticized version of the country, but I'm not saying I want to live there. I'm just saying I need to go there for a few weeks and maybe bask in that idealization for a little bit. I don't know if it's the architecture, if it's the food, if it's the people. Maybe it's a conglomeration of all of them, but I miss it really badly. And when I had to finally leave France in May of 2019, at first I was like, oh my god, I'm back in the United States. It's been so long. Take me to McDonald's. Give me a McRib. Give me everything. I think I've already mentioned this in another video, but, you know, Notre Dame. Anyone know Notre Dame? You know, like the pretty, like the Victor Hugo Cathedral. It's built like sometime in the, the 12th century? Yeah, I was there the day that it burned down. I remember it very clearly. So long story short, my drummer was actually studying abroad in England at the time, and he came over the channel into France. After that, the two of us decided to have like a grand old weekend, and I'm trying to remember. We talked about music and a couple of other things, and eventually, I don't know, we just decided to get ourselves some food elsewhere because we got tired of all the music talk and hanging out in my apartment drinking wine. So I was like, hey, let's get some Italian food. He's like, yeah, Italian food in Paris. Sure, why not? I mean, you get Chinese food in America. No problem. There's no correlation between the country you're in and the food you eat. Anyway, so as we're getting Italian food, I was briefly interrupted by a buzz on my phone. My mom was like, Tristan, oh my god, Notre Dame is burning down. And clearly I was like, okay, Mom, it's really time to get off Facebook. To which she says, no, I'm serious. Like, check out this live stream. Notre Dame is actually burning down. So I open up the live stream, and no shit, Notre Dame is actually burning down. I look over at my drummer, and he and I are like, bro, we gotta go check this out right now. So yeah, we made our way from the 2nd District in Paris all the way down to the Seine River, where we clearly saw a big cloud of smoke coming out from what was Notre Dame Cathedral. And there were so many people in the crowd that clearly I could tell this is a historical event, and I get to be a part of it. This is happening to me. Because, you know, solipsism. Seeing that thing burn from afar was probably one of the strangest things I've ever seen in my life. Because you see a historical monument that you've seen in the movies, that you've seen in pictures and paintings and basically all sorts of media over the course of your life, and there you are standing 300 meters away from it. One of the takeaways, I think, from it, for me, was just how much that brought together the French people. Because after they started getting hold on the fire, the sun started to go down. And I remember everyone coalesced in the street, and they, you know, were obviously talking about what was going on. And at that time, I was sitting at a cafe talking to one of my friends. You know, she was really upset, and she was talking about Victor Hugo, but eventually my drummer decides to talk to her, and I don't know, maybe they were like flirting for like half a second. I walked over to the sun as the sun was going down, so like the sky is twilight, the cathedral's lit up, and you can still see the embers from the fire also lighting up the cathedral itself. So it was very much like a movie. It very much felt like a movie. Again, not a happy moment, but it was just strange. I think a bunch of Catholics started to congregate on one of the bridges right in front of the cathedral, and that's when everybody started to, well, sing. Everybody started singing like these French, these religious songs in French, and obviously, like, I wasn't familiar with them, but when they started singing, everybody around them started singing too. And it didn't really matter what you looked like or what you were wearing. As long as you were French and you knew the words to these songs, you were probably singing along. And so I'm over there just standing by myself like, pretty amazing. Because everybody was singing together. Because they were trying to find a way to commiserate in the face of the tragedy in front of them. And I just thought that was fucking amazing. Here, man, it's like every time that there's an issue, there's like two sides. There's the side that's like, yeah, this is important. We gotta talk about that. And then there are the other people. You're horrible. It's not important. You're dumb. You didn't go to school, man. Yeah, so when you go to a country when you actually walk into the street, basically everybody is happy and talking about finding a way to unite themselves over an issue. It's new. You know, that just doesn't happen. It was just one of those moments when I thought to myself, man, we can really use a little more of that at home. And now I am home. And not only am I not coalescing with a group of people talking about my issues or how I feel like connected to my community, I'm still here. Woo! I'm gonna have to go make my bed. But so I'm thinking about going to France again just by myself for absolutely no reason. I have a little bit of money saved up, and maybe I'll just walk the streets of Paris and like appreciate my time there again. You know, the last thing I wanted to say about that day was I remember the next morning. I thought a little bit about 9/11, right? So the next morning it was really gray. There was a really gray overcast and the weather just sucked. It was rainy and I think it was like somewhere in the lower 40s. It was, I think it was April 16th, 2019. And as I walked around, I decided to exit my apartment and walk down the Seine River and see what was going on. And there were just crowds upon crowds of people walking down the Seine looking at the, you know, burned cathedral. It was one of those moments when you could tell everybody around you was thinking about the same thing. And that never happens. It was really sad and really cool at the same time because I remember walking around and looking at everybody and feeling like I was actually a part of a big moment, even though it wasn't even my country. It wasn't my people, it wasn't my identity. It was just, I don't know. I yearned for that. I yearned to be a part of something bigger than myself. Ever since after I got back, I got 6 months of normal life and then this. But yeah, I think I need to go back and have myself a nice bottle of wine and some cheese again, and maybe call up a couple of friends because, you know, the French, they're like Dionysus. They love the wine, the cheese, you ever hear Dan Avidan's take on the French? You know, what the hell is it? I think he was talking about bonobos, and he hears that the bonobos have sex a lot, and he's like, ha, they're like the French.